Anti-SJWs are the new SJWs. And this is the Anti-SJW Cringe Compilation, Volume 1. So no doubt, the anti-SJW community has gotten huge on YouTube in the last 2 years. Lots of channels have become extremely popular, making fun of SJWs and explaining how liberal cucks like myself are trying to destroy Western society. Us liberals are the worst. But then a lot of people begin to realize that these channels are nothing but outrage merchants. And worse yet, they're hypocrites who make fun of SJWs for doing exactly the same things that they do. For example, hugely popular YouTuber, No Bullshit, who like most anti-SJW YouTubers has spent much of his career explaining to us all about how overly sensitive SJWs and liberals are. We're just beta cuck snowflakes always trying to find something to be offended about. So now let's watch him have a totally normal day explaining to us all exactly how those evil SJWs fucked up the damned Avengers movie.
Next and second worst SJW part of Infinity War has to do with Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk, who, besides a quick fight with Thanos at the beginning, well, besides that, we hardly even see the Hulk in this movie. After he loses to Thanos, the Hulk refuses to come out for Banner, who is then stuck in his human form for almost the whole movie. And at face value, that might not seem like such a bad thing. It sounds like they're trying to mix things up a bit, but when you combine this with the disrespect from Shuri, well, it's starting to seem like the Hulk is a victim of the SJW agenda here. Think about it. The Hulk is the biggest and strongest and, dare I say, most manly Avenger. Do you really think it's a coincidence that he all of a sudden can't Hulk out here too? He's basically got erectile dysfunction, or Hulk rectile dysfunction, I guess. So to me, it really seems like the SJWs are trying to neuter the most manly character in the Avengers. And this low-key attack on men is also a two-pronged approach, because not only does the movie neuter the Hulk, the manliest character, they also buff all the girl characters and make them overly smart and skilled, for little more reason than to say girl power a couple times. There's also a giant midget in the movie. That's right. He's the guy from Game of Thrones, and he's also the one the Hulk goes to in the movie to have him make a new weapon to fight Thanos. And I think having midget, dwarf, little person representation is certainly something a radical leftist, pro-diversity, anti-ableist SJW would be all for.
That's right, folks. Those evil SJWs who wrote Infinity Wars were just sitting around and they were thinking, how can we belittle the men who make up more than 3/4 of our audience? I got it. Let's have the Hulk be scared. That'll show those evil mens. Fuck your toxic masculinity, motherfuckers. We gonna cut the Hulk's dick off. Well, oh hell no. We're on to you SJW fuckos. We see right through you and try to make women all badass. Fuck off, feminists. I prefer realism in my superhero movies. So you better get Black Widow in the goddamn kitchen making Iron Man a fucking sandwich. And also, fuck you for having a tall midget. That's just obvious liberal SJW ableist bullshit. Nice try, SJWs. But we see right through your pro-midget agenda. I don't know about you guys, but I prefer my midget short. Like God intended. But I just can't help but wonder if there's a way we could retardedly twist this whole movie to somehow take a shot at transgender people for no reason at all.
Another SJW point some could argue would be with Vision, who's a half-robot, half-alien hybrid, who's also trying to transition into being human. Yep, Vision is a transhuman if you think about it, even trying to put on this fake human form in some of the scenes. There's also a big plot point where Shuri operates on Vision, trying to remove his Infinity Stone that's on his head. Does that sound familiar? Well, to me that sounds almost like a sex change operation, but instead of removing his cock, Vision is getting his Infinity Stone removed. Pretty degenerate, nonetheless.
That's right, you SJW liberals. Out here being all degenerate by removing Infinity Stones. This is obviously just transsexual propaganda. Anybody can see it. Oh my god, that's so stupid. This is mostly what these people do, folks. They just sit around and they invent stuff to be outraged about. And then they make fun of the other side for doing exactly the fucking same thing they do. The depressing thing is, this is still what's hugely popular on YouTube right now. This video was seen 250,000 times already. This is what YouTube has become. It's basically where they've turned the left and SJWs into the new boogeyman. Back in the 90s, we had Alex Jones and the Illuminati. That's what the outrage merchants back then used to scare people with. Their tentacles are in everything, fucking everything up. But now it's SJWs these guys try to scare you with. And since there's only so much video out there of blue-haired college kids to make fun of, these outrage merchants have to amp up the fear and pretend like the tentacles of SJWs are in everything. But this shit is just as silly as any of the SJW shit they make fun of. They're trying so hard to stretch and find every way they can to blame everything on SJWs and the left. Case in point, popular YouTuber and the human version of Grumpy Cat, Stefan Mulenuts. Here Mulenuts makes a very reasonable argument about how the new Star Wars movie is actually about white genocide. And don't worry, folks. He knows for a fact that this is exactly what the writers of Star Wars meant, because he's a genius writer himself.
Say, are you sure that's what the writers intended? And the only people who say that are people who aren't themselves creative writers. I actually started out, I wrote my first short story when I was 6, wrote my first novel when I was 11, and have written a lot of fiction, about 30 plays, half a dozen novels and so on, lots of poetry. So Luke Skywalker has checked out of society. Huh. Isn't that interesting? He's a white male who's checked out of society. And we see this all over the place with white males, right? I mean, that they're not happy. Neither is Luke Skywalker happy. He's got this bitter, grizzled, half-homeless kind of determination to survive another day, but for no particular purpose other than to watch the slow extinguishing of his own possibilities and his own life. Destined to die on an abandoned, desolate rock in the middle of nowhere, no one even to bury his body. And this is true of a lot of white males, right? They're heavily in debt from terrible educations. They're living at home. There are endless diversity mandates in society, which means it's very, very hard for a white male to get a job, which means that white males kind of have to go into entrepreneurship, which has its ups and downs, of course. And there are jobs openly saying you basically, if you're a white male, you have no chance of getting this job. Whites, I think, are down to about 8% of the world's population, and that 8% is very top-heavy in terms of age. So in terms of childbearing age, white females are like maybe 2% or so of the world's population. There is danger of, a quasi-extinction event in the not-too-distant future. Luke Skywalker takes the most powerful symbol of the Jedi, just tosses it over his shoulder. And that is happening, of course, a lot. The whites are not allowed to have a history to be proud of, not allowed to have in-group preferences. The religion of the West must be burned. And this, of course, you see, like the tree and the Jedi texts get burned down, and it's the end of a lineage. It's the end of a history.
That's right, folks. Not a stretch at all. White people are basically the worst treated people on the planet. Fuck you, Star Wars, for your politically correct anti-white narrative. Foreigners are basically just the Sith trying to wipe out white Jedis. It's so sad that all you NPCs can't clearly see that Star Wars is about the extinction of the white race. Next thing you know, Yoda's fucking all the white women, then the whole goddamn universe is green. Disney ruins everything. And next up is Sargon of Akkad, who has spent the last several years telling us over and over about how SJWs and liberals are overly sensitive and quick to outrage, has this reaction to a tweet.
With 300,000 retweets. Fuck you! Fuck you, Bernie! Fuck off! Trump did not try to divide you by race, religion, and gender and nationality. You are the cunts dividing people by race and gender. It's a fucking women's march, Bernie! Fuck! God, this is I'm totally triggered by this, I swear, right?
Dude, it's a tweet. You know, like on Twitter. It's nothing. Seriously, we live in a world where your boy Donald Trump just put $1.5 trillion on our credit card and gave it to billionaires. We live in a world where your boy Trump is trying to stack the Supreme Court to take abortion rights away from women. We live in a world where crazy conservatives are sending pipe bombs and murdering motherfuckers all over the place. We live in a world where your boy Donald Trump has cut just about every environmental protection imaginable. Not only doing nothing about global warming, but actually helping to accelerate it. The number one biggest threat that scientists say could lead to the extinction of all life on this fucking planet. You ain't got shit to say about that. You're totally calm about all that stuff, but when it comes to a tweet, you're like,
fuck you! Fuck you, Bernie! Fuck off!
I just gotta say it, man. Your outrage seems somewhat selective to me. Butch up, snowflake. And next up, it's brain genius Dave Rubin, explaining exactly why the left hates gamers so much.
You have to accomplish something in a video game. You have to keep trying to succeed. Yes, can you go to GameFAQs or can you get the cheat code and all that stuff? You do, but it really is about you figuring out how to do all this stuff. And that to me sort of shows why the media, and especially the leftist media, hates games now, or hates gamers. They don't like people who solve problems. Is this a bridge too far, or am I onto something? I think there's something there. Gamers want to get shit done. Whatever world you're in, whether you're playing a sports game or an adventure game or an RPG or whatever, you're building something, you're accomplishing something. You may have to have teammates and all do it. You don't want people to help you do everything and cheat for you. That's not what the left likes. Sure. So they have to not like games. I think there's something really there.
That's right, folks. Us evil lefties hate your video games because we don't want to see you accomplish anything. I don't know how many sleepless nights I've had staying awake worried about how many people are out there finishing Red Dead Redemption 2. Fuck that shit. I think the government should have to help you finish Red Dead Redemption 2 because these are the thoughts that liberals have in real life. I'm just saying, folks, I'm not a liberal because I want you guys to have universal health care or affordable education or a strong social safety net or a narrowing of wealth inequality in the United States or sensible Wall Street reform. No, I'm a liberal because fuck Mario. And that's it for this episode, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. The anti-SJW shit has just gotten so stupid. The truth is, these people don't actually want to talk about the issues because they get killed on the issues. So instead, they have to distract you with this minutia bullshit. They have to point out annoying assholes to the left to pretend like these people represent the entire left in order to come in and be the heroes that beat up these straw men they've created and bilk so many of you gullible fucks out of your money. But even though this stuff is still incredibly popular on YouTube, the tide is starting to shift a bit. More and more people are starting to see through this. It's obvious what you guys are doing. It's obvious you people are fucking hypocrites. And it's also obvious I'm gonna have fun as shit making fun of you for it. If you like this video and you were thinking to yourself, damn, that would have been so much better if Dusty wasn't talking over the whole goddamn thing. Well, these original compilations was created by a channel called Obambe. I'm gonna put a link in the description to it. So if you guys want to watch the originals without me talking over them, click on that. As always, please rate, please comment, please subscribe, please share the videos. You guys have so much more power to put the spotlight on this bullshit than you think. And in my opinion, this silly shit needs it. I love you guys, and as always, till next time, logic. Fuck yes. Hey guys, Dusty Smith here, and this channel basically makes nothing off YouTube anymore. The only reason this channel still exists is because it is user supported. And the main reason I keep making these videos is because your donations go to support the Humanist Society of Mississippi Animal Sanctuary. So if you like what I do and don't want to see this channel disappear, please consider supporting us on Patreon. Every little bit really helps. You guys are